The BLAC Legal Action Center is the only BLAC-led specialty legal clinic working to combat individual and systemic anti-BLAC racism in Canada. Joining me today is Ruth Goba, the Executive Director of the BLAC Legal Action Center, and Nana Yanful is the Legal Team Lead at the BLAC Legal Action Center. Welcome to the show, ladies.
Thank you.
I really appreciate your time today. So let's just jump right into it. Quick thoughts. What did you think of Ford saying that systemic racism isn't in Ontario?
I thought it was offensive to the Black community, actually, and the Indigenous community and other marginalized communities who every single day deal with the realities of discrimination and disparity and long-standing, deep-seated racism that exists in the province. I think that it showed that he really does not have a sense of all of the residents of the province that he governs. I thought it was really problematic. I thought that it just shows that really whatever talk there is in the government right now, and even in the area of education, where there's lots of talk around anti-Black racism, and the government, the education minister says, we want the government to understand, the Black community to understand, we've got this. That in reality they don't, and that's a really significant problem for us moving forward.
Yeah, I think that spoke volumes to, that yes, systemic racism exists, and he literally proved it by standing up saying it didn't exist.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was shocking, actually. Yeah. It was shocking, I think, to hear him articulate that in the context of everything that's happening right now in our province. It was shocking.
So we recorded a longer podcast earlier, and I hope people will go over to the podcast and listen to that. But one of the points that you talked about was the need for disaggregated data. So can you tell me a little bit about what you mean by that?
We are not the first ones to call for that. I think our community and many public health experts generally have been saying, we need to show how things don't affect all of us the same. And what is great about disaggregated race-based data specifically is that then it can show the differential impact of certain measures, right? Right now, we don't collect anything, so we don't know whether or not our community is being disproportionately affected, for example, by COVID-19, right? Even though it is a pandemic that can affect us all, we know from looking at the US that it's not, right? It's killing Black people at a disproportionate rate. So we and others have been calling for the collection of disaggregated race-based data, specifically around COVID health data. The province did say recently, I think it was early May, that they would start to collect. And I hear also the City of Toronto, at the Toronto Public Health, they are starting to collect disaggregated race-based data in the health data related to COVID. But also our organization and others are also calling for the collection of disaggregated race-based data across all sectors. So in policing, child welfare, like across the province in all sectors, because we know that this data is important. I just want to say one caveat about that is we know that having the data also doesn't mean systemic change, right? The US has been collecting data for many years and we still see disproportionalities, right? So it's important that we don't say, okay, when we have the data, the work is over. We need to be able to use that data to continue to push for systemic change and sustainable equality. So it's twofold. Yes, collect, but also we need to use that data in a way that pushes forward some real change.
So how is the BLAC Legal Action Center helping then in Ontario?
With respect to data collection, or just
helping in your community in general? So what's your mandate and how are you helping?
Our mandate is we have a big mandate. Our mandate is to combat individual and systemic anti-Black racism across Ontario. So we provide individual legal support to low and no income Black Ontarians who qualify for legal aid services. But we also work on issues of systemic advocacy. We recently worked in coalition to bring a legal challenge to the failure by the city to ensure social distancing measures in the shelter system. There's a disproportionate number of Black people in the shelter system because of high rates of poverty, really. So we do public legal education. We, as I said, provide individual legal support. We work on issues of community development, and we partner with other agencies that serve the Black community and people who serve the Black community to provide support where we can, to assist them where we can. And I can probably continue as well a little bit more on the other work that we do.
I think you captured it really well. We provide those legal services in specific areas of law. So housing, education, police complaints, what else? I'm blanking.
Prison law.
Prison law. We don't provide services in criminal law, family law, or immigration refugee services.
Yeah.
So I want to circle back to something we talked about in the podcast, and that was you opened a year ago and you said that you thought, you would be flooded with calls in regards to policing, but what you're most surprised is those calls are actually education based. So can you tell the listeners a little bit about some of those calls you're receiving?
Sure. Nana?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we receive calls, we're an organization, our office is in Toronto, but we serve the entire province. So we are hearing from parents and young people from across the province, different school boards, saying something very similar, that they are treated very differently in the school system by teachers, principals, other students because of their race, because they're Black. And so, for example, we see that in terms of suspensions and expulsions. So the way that discipline is handed out, Black students are saying, we're seeing it actually in the statistics, that Black students are overrepresented when it comes to suspensions and expulsions. We're seeing that Black students are overrepresented in applied level classes and applied level courses as compared to academic courses. And that has an impact on post-secondary opportunities and employment opportunities later down the line. And we're also hearing from parents who are trying to advocate for their children every single day to ensure that they're feeling safe at school and ensure that they are treated fairly, who are met with sanctions, right? Who are told they can't come back to the school. They're served with trespass orders. And they, that's also a concern. So we're hearing from a variety of folks across the province, and we're hearing very similar themes. And so anti-Black racism in the education system is very real. And at BLAC, we are trying to work towards dismantling some of those practices.
So people are listening right now then, and they want to get in touch with you. What is the best way to do that?
They can reach us through our website, which is www.blacklegalactioncenter.ca. Our phone number is 416-597-5831. We also have a 1-800 number, which is, and we have social media handles.
Okay.
We're on Twitter, we're on Instagram, we are on Facebook, and we are on LinkedIn.
Okay, so we're going to put all of those up on the video that's going to go out on social, and anybody's listening will have heard that as well. Thank you, ladies, for joining me today. I wish you continued success in your mandate, and
Thank you.
And best of luck. I know these are trying times.
Thank you for having us on and for shedding a light on this a little bit. So we appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Candace.
It was lovely to speak with you.
You too. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Have a good day. Bye-bye.